good afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you may be in this world. Some of you are sleeping. Some of you should be sleeping, but might not be sleeping. Excuse me. Welcome to day 2 of the Scrapbooking Fun Summit. I am Heather, one of your co-hosts. Tracy is the other co-host, and we are here with Cindy of Dare to be Artsy. But before we get to the amazing Dare to be Artsy and Cindy, we have a little housekeeping. The site was down this morning, so don't panic. It's up again. It shouldn't go down again. I'm going to curse myself by saying those words, but you never know. We did extend the playback time by 2 hours. So you have 2 extra hours to watch them. It goes to noon tomorrow, noon Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. So we were down for an hour. We gave you 2 hours to watch. So you have time to catch up and watch. And we want to thank today's sponsor. So today's sponsor is Whimsy Stamps. And Tracy will give you a little bit about what they do, maybe show you a stamp or two.
I know, I should get some more out. But these are just the ones I took out earlier just to have them handy. But they have, of course, love stamps. Some of them are quirky and very funny. Others can be more serious. Definitely very original, right? Stuff like this just happens to be what I have here in stock, and I grabbed a few things. But yes, as we often like to say, because I'm out of the ones, but there are definitely ones for your menopause. If anybody may go through that or want to make fun of somebody who is going through it, or just to not to make fun, but to be with them with their great going through it. And then they also do they'll do a lot of the 6x6 paper that will go great with your cards and these stamps. Lots of superhero kind of stamps and lots of just going a little bit by memory. Right now it's a pirate theme and some I say seashore, but more like the fish kind of stamps, than not quite the lighthouses and things like that. Because again, they just have more fun in them. So, but check them out because they really are a great company and wonderful to deal with. So go for it. It's fun.
Their project for today is a pirate theme project. So if you've got pirates fans in your world, check out their pirate theme project. So without further ado, we have another person who designs amazing stamps as well.
Yes.
So we have Dare to be Artsy, and we are going to get to know. I got to find her. There you are. We're going to get to know Dare to be Artsy. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments as always. We know this, and Cindy's been with us all of our summits, I think.
I think
I was the first.
She's been with all of our summits, which is amazing. And but not everybody knows you. We have lots of new people. So where are you in the world is our first easy question.
I am in Kansas City, on the Kansas side, Overland Park, Kansas. And this is when I moved here a couple years ago. I started my business in Ohio, but when I moved back here where my hometown is, this is the first time I actually have a storefront. Part of my business as well. So it's kind of fun because I get to see you guys more often and stuff. So
if you're in Kansas City or driving through, stop by Cindy's store. This is the back of her store, by the way. We're in the employee section of the store.
I was trying to use a different system so you wouldn't see this, and then this is the only computer that I can pull it up on. So this is where I create. It's a little bit crazy for you to see this, but yeah, this is me.
This is what it's like to have a store and what's in the back of a store. So it's all good. And you have your bear
very clean, you. Believe it or not. It is like
these are hiding things, and
that's okay. That's normal.
We are all a little critical of our own space. For people to know, are you a card maker, a scrapbooker, something else? Where are you in that?
So I love all things crafty. So when I design product, I design it for card makers and scrapbookers and mixed media artists because I like those. I like to use a product and be able to use it a lot of different ways. So that's kind of where my head is when I'm designing. That's what I do.
Which makes sense. And you do, one of the things you'll find with any video Cindy's ever done for us, she always shows you how you can use it on a scrapbook page or a card. Yeah. And we really appreciate that because we've always say you can use it both ways, but you always give us an example of how you can use it in either one. So
yeah, I've kind of started doing I've kind of started designing with clusters, and you'll find that in my in the layout that I do today, and in other things where I design these little groups so you can easily put it on a card or put it on a scrapbook page. So I can show you some examples of that if we have time.
Yeah, excellent. So I have a question that we're getting really interesting answers in. So I'm curious to know your answer for this one is, what's one thing that was the hardest thing for you to conquer as you started to do paper crafting?
Well, as far as the business part goes is, well, I mean, as far as designing goes is, I love to be able to use my dies for my stamps, but also my scrapbook paper. So that is always a challenge to know that when, to create like the stamped image. This is stamped and die cut right out of the paper. I mean, this is die cut right out of the paper, but that same image is a stamp. So that's always a challenge when I'm designing my paper to get the sizes right. So the dies are going to cut both. And then how do you make the paper look aesthetically pleasing and also work with a stamp? So that's always a challenge. Like, because I design all the stamps and the dies and the paper. So when I come up with my images, then I have to figure out how to make them work in both places. So
makes sense, because you don't want a piece of paper that's just lined up cars.
Yeah, exactly. This has been this collection. Well, the video that you guys are going to see, it uses our beach stamp set that's part of our coastal getaway collection. But when I was designing for the class for you guys, I didn't have my paper yet. So I'm using my 6x6 papers for the class. And then then my coastal getaway paper came in. So I'm so excited about it. So if you guys want to check it out, go to our What's New section, because the beach set that we did so this is the one you guys are going to make in the class. But when that beach set came in, this is like a card using it. So that's the paper that goes with this. And anyway, I'm just so excited about it. It was a hard one to do, to get all the pieces to fit together, but I'm really excited about how it turned out. So
no, that's an interesting, and I always think it's fascinating to get the designer's mind of what's the complication of designing stuff like that. So
yeah.
What's your biggest thing you've had to conquer as a crafter?
Well, all the new trends on the different, like the kind of keeping up with, like, the foiling has come in, and then like all the different things, because I want to do all of it, and so I have to figure out how to rein it in for there to be artsy, because it's like, oh, I want to do that, I want to do that. I don't know how many of you guys do the ATC cards. Those have been around a while, but I did a kind of a combined crop with another store in the neighborhood, and she wanted to do she wanted to do she wanted to do an ATC thing, and I had not done those before, and so this is part of that new collection. I had so much fun. I'm like, now I want to design a stamp set.
What is ACT?
ATC stands for Artist Trading Card. So they're the little, like, baseball size cards, and then you put a thing on the back and you write, like, what theme it is, or what stamp set, or what, and the date and the artist that did it, and then you find other people that are making the little cards and you trade with them. So you get these little pieces of art.
Baseball cards crafted.
Yeah, I'm like, how fun is that? So
or Pokemon cards crafted.
Yeah.
These have people who know what they are.
ATC cards are fun. So yeah, a couple of people have done those. Anyway, when I see new stuff, I just like, okay, what do I?
It's a very common addiction, I think. That's what keeps your industry going. Not that you don't feed that either, because you create new stuff as well. Yeah. So tell us a bit about the project that you did for them.
So I did, a lot of my paper is 12 by 12 and stuff. And when you're doing a scrapbook page, sometimes it's like, you may not have all the 12 by 12 paper that, like, you may not have the paper you want to scrapbook with, and then it's like, how do you make it work on a 12 by 12 page if you only have 6 by 6 paper? So what I kind of wanted to do is show you this paper is actually in my 6 by 6 pack, but it totally looks like it's out of 12 by 12 paper just because of the nature of the way I designed it and stuff. So I did this, and then I did 2 cards also. And this was one of the cards. I love fun folds. So this is just a fun fold. Again, it's using the same stamp and that same 6 by 6 paper. There's another card that I do in there too. So that's what I did for the class. But I have to show you this too. So earlier, Francis did a scrapbook layout class for you guys that went live today also. And it was using like the square, cutting your scrap paper in squares and stuff. I thought that was so cute. So I went ahead and did one of hers using our new collection with the squares and stuff. So you guys have some amazing teachers during this summit, because it's like, oh, I want to try that. I want to try that. So this is kind of fun to be able to share their inspiration and like, okay, now how do we apply it? You know, what can I do with that? Anyway.
No, that's cool. I mean, that's yeah.
Yeah, it's excellent that you just showed, like, because yes, I will learn from your videos and her, other videos that are on here as well. And I'm like, wow, you just come up with all these different ideas, and
I know,
like
it's so
then you put yourself into it, and there you go. I love it.
Like
I'm looking forward to doing. Yeah, the box, the other one that was out there that I haven't done yet is the little mini 6 by 6 album in a box. I'm like, oh, I want to do that with this paper too. So
if you watch her, if you look at her Q&A, because she was yesterday in her Q&A, Tamara, and she when she sends cards, she makes a box for the card. She was showing us one of them. So she always boxes her cards so that she doesn't destroy the embellishments or things like that. So she makes a box that mirrors the card and sends them in a card. So yeah, there's so many cool things that you can do that kind of step outside the box. And we have as I've said to a lot of people in some of these things, I watch most of the videos because I edit them and put the front and back on. There's a lot of hidden gems in these. There's a lot of things that the titles and the descriptions really don't justify. And there's a lot of hidden gems in all of these wonderful videos. So, and Cindy will always have clusters and folds. That's her thing. Cute clusters and folds. Why do you like clusters, actually? What really what brings you into doing clusters?
Well, it's interesting because for scrapbookers, sometimes stamped images are small and it would get lost on a big scrapbook page. So when I started doing clusters, and I think sometimes, and you guys might be able to tell me, some scrapbookers they're maybe not comfortable with stamping, or they haven't stamped it before and they don't know what to do with a stamp. So when I started doing clusters, it's like you can take a stamped image. This is just a couple examples, not this theme right now, but the little bunny is a stamped image, or this little piece here is a stamped image. That by itself on a scrapbook page would totally get lost. But by clustering it, by taking some of your layers, I also use scrap paper because I don't throw anything away. So when you take a bunch of those pieces together, it tends to look really cool on a scrapbook page. You can take that same cluster and put it on a card. But here's an example, like this little cluster. If that was by itself, it would get lost on the page. But I've built up a little cluster. So then I put it on a scrapbook page, and all of a sudden it has more, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but it has more substance and it won't get lost. It just makes more of a bigger embellishment by clustering it. This is another fun one that I did for barbecue, because the individual stamps are teeny, right? You would never just put those on a scrapbook page, but you wouldn't see them. But you see how I clustered it. I added some layers and scraps and put it together. This I put like on your journaling panel, and then this a cluster. But look how cute that would look on a card. So by clustering, it kind of helps people see what else you can do to it. You can, like, I've literally taken clusters. I don't even know what I'm going to do with them yet, but I've made these clusters, and then it's like, okay, that would look cute on a scrapbook page. I'm holding it because I don't know, I may use it on a card. So when I sit down, I can start building clusters and then save them for later when I need it. So
And that's kind of a fun thing too. Yeah, but your clusters are kind of a fun thing, what you just showed of doing them if you don't have a lot of time. Especially for the scrapbookers who might be busy and you just want to craft for half an hour, you can make some clusters and use your scraps and make them and then have a box of clusters.
Yeah. Here's a cluster. I mean, this by itself, pretend that's not there. Just this little thing, that was some scrap paper. And I made a little banner. So this itself could be sitting in my pile of stuff. It's a little cluster. What am I going to do with it? Easily add it to a scrapbook page, but then instead I added it to the card. So,
which makes sense. I'm just going to follow up. And someone says, "I'm so glad you designed for both scrapbookers and card makers."
Of course.
And being able to die cut out of the paper is a plus.
Yeah.
How do you come up with a design, with a new design?
You know, I kind of look for my inspiration kind of everywhere. Sometimes when I want new trends, I'll look at fabric, because the trends that come out in fabric tend to be ahead of the paper crafting industry. So I'll go look in a fabric store or, Hobby Lobby and see, look at fabric and go, okay, this color palette is out there now. That means the paper crafting is close behind. So that's where I usually start. I love talking to my customers too, because they'll be like, we can't find anything out there, for retirement or whatever it may be. And so that's kind of where, I learn from you guys. I go to some trade shows, direct to consumer ones. I only do 4 since post-COVID. I only have 4 big ones that I go to, but that's where I get to see a whole bunch of people all at once. So I get ideas there. And then I have a stamp of the month club. It's called the Artzy Clubhouse. And it's a neat way to kind of a smaller, tighter community. I recognize some of the names in here as some people in the clubhouse stuff. But they'll share ideas, or I might show a sneak peek of something or get ideas from them. And then we have an artsy community on Facebook that's open to anybody, even if you're not in the club, and they'll share ideas. So it's kind of from you guys. Yeah.
And where did the bear come from? What was your inspiration for your bear behind you?
He is nicely hiding some of my mess. He is from our Feeling Groovy collection that I came out with a couple of years ago. That has been a really popular line. That Feeling Groovy, I think a lot of us are in that. Like, that was us. That was me. So it was a very popular line. So he's our Oopsie Daisy.
Cute. Do you use prints for your ATCs?
Say that again.
Do you use prints for your ATCs?
Like, what do you mean prints? Like,
I'm not sure. If you
not sure.
Polly, if you have a question, let us know, because we're not sure what you mean by that.
Yeah, because these are just stamped and then cut out and layered. These are from my paper and stuff. And then I don't have a stamp for the back. I'm going to create a stamp set that has a stamp for the back. I just did this on my computer, and I'm like, oh, stamp set for people that like
there's how she gets her ideas. So there you go.
Yeah. So yeah, I think so. That's really been fun. Oh, copies. So the thing with the ATCs, at least I'm learning about them, you don't do multiples of the same thing. Like, I wouldn't make copies of these to give out. You kind of make them individually when you're trading, because I think that's the whole thing. Each one is an individual little piece of art kind of thing. So I think that's kind of the idea. Yeah. Again, I'm still new to it. I mean, literally, I've done 3. I gave one away. I'm very new to it, but they were really fun. So
I've seen them a lot in the watercolor painting space. Like, I see a lot of them doing them online, so they do tiny watercolor painting ones as well. And they don't take them long to do, so they'll do like a scene or whatever. So
Okay.
Yep. What's
Yeah.
your
Sorry, Tracy?
big and popular
Oh, I
in
love
mixed media? Now you
Mhm.
can't hear me because I turned volume down on my microphone.
It's
I
not
can hear you.
volume.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's not your volume, it's your reception on your microphone that's causing things. So, but we'll get there. It's clicky. So, it's your feedback. It's your feedback on your microphone, not your volume. What's your favorite adhesive for the clusters?
So real quick, I just saw Lori asked a question. Can I use the VIP discount with my Artzy Club free shipping? So
No.
you can. So you
You
can't
had it
use the
set up.
VIP discount for the membership. Um, but the
Yeah, you have it
discount,
set up so it excludes membership. We have that in the
right,
agreement.
right. Yeah. Okay.
What's your favorite adhesive for your clusters?
You know, I never wanted to use glue before because it was always Elmer's glue or whatever. So I never used glue. I always use the tape runner. I use the big, huge pink ATG runner all the time. And then I got hooked on the art glitter glue and the Barely glue. What's Bear? You guys know what I'm talking about? Barely, is it Barely
Tracy does.
something?
Barely.
Yeah. The and then
The shape of a bear.
I don't have
It's
my
kind
art.
of like her poster behind.
Yeah, exactly. So
Some of
the
some of the
Barely
bigger
art,
people are.
and then I have on our website too. We have the Misty glue press.
Blue press.
Have you guys used? Have you guys used this? The glue press. This may be new to some of you, which is really cool. Here's the lid. And you take it out and you squeeze, and it's the liquid glue. Oh my gosh, it's awesome. Because when I use this kind of glue, well, here's a little tip. If you are using this, you've got to keep a pin in it all the time or it gets clogged up. But when you go to glue, you know, you've probably taken your pin out, set it down, and you lose it. We'll put a rubber band here because I take it out and I slip it in there. I can glue, and then I can stick it back in here. So a little tip on that.
Nice
And
hack.
it's also helpful if you have your glasses to stick that back in. It's hard to see.
You
Then
can use that glue with the glue press.
yeah, this one is
Just fill it up an empty bottle.
you need it, yes, because the glue press comes with 2 bottles, and it comes with the Nouveau, and then you get an empty one. So my empty one, I put I will put my Barely in it or my the art glitter glue in it, so I have it as my second one, and it just slips in here. What's cool, again, your lid is right here. This just sits in here. There's a little spongy thing, and I've left this out for 3 days, and I can pick it up and start gluing. Like it doesn't get clogged up. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it. You every once in a while still have to. This has a pin in it, and so you can loosen it that way. But I kind of gotten hooked. Just a little tip: if you do end up with this, once it gets kind of low, you're going to want to fill it up a little bit more. It works better when it's fuller, your glue. But yeah, that's my glue information for you guys.
Someone said, I can't say I've ever truly thought of clustering several embellishments in the way you do. I really like it. What inspired you to do that? We've already kind of answered that one. I'm catching up on these.
Yeah, I think for me, it was how is a scrapbooker going to use it? You know, like how is a scrapbooker going to use my stamps? And when I look at some of my stamps and I think of them as small images, that's what's like, yeah, that's not going to look good on a scrapbook page by itself. And so when I wanted to do my pages, I found that building them up into bigger embellishments made more sense. And then I got hooked. Then I just fell in love with doing that. Also, I have scraps everywhere. So it was kind of a nice way to justify my scraps, that I'm keeping my little scraps. So, and my sister will come in and help me sometimes. She is not crafty at all. She will come help me organize, and she'll start picking up scraps. She'll look at me and I'll like, no, no. You cannot throw that away. So anyway, that's using my scrap.
Which is good. You're reusing, you're saving. So Melissa loves the idea of clusters without having a plan for yet. Because I fall in love with those sets, but don't necessarily know what to use it for, but still want to create. So I think that clusters are great for that play. It's a little bit of play.
Yeah.
Is the way it comes across to me.
Yeah.
How do you store your clusters?
A lot of times, well, I'm just going to grab, this isn't going to necessarily be one that has it in it, but I use little bags. I keep my stamp and my die in there. And so I might keep my clusters in my bags. This was, again, not a good example because I just keep it with the stamp set is basically. These are.
Sense. Do you ever mix stamp sets in your clusters?
Oh, all the time. When I design my paper, I design in collections. So like this new Ocean Getaway collection has 6 different stamp sets in it, and they all work really well together. So I will easily pull, here's an example. This one is cut right out of the paper, but we have the stamp that's the lemon. We have the bow that's these are both stamps also, but this is an example. These come from 2 different stamp sets, but all part of the same collection. So when you're doing it within a collection like the Coastal Getaway collection, those stamps work really well together. So I'll easily pull and put clusters together that way or something.
There's some ATC education for you. In their make and take, we make the same ATC for how many people were doing it.
Okay. All right. So that's good to know. Yeah. Because you could sit down, and I would probably could go with this whole collection and just start assembling. I'd probably just have a whole bunch of pieces and then start putting those little pieces together. That'd be fun.
So Lori was asking, when I order something to be delivered with my club shipment, can I use the Summit VIP discount? So it's above her club. So yeah, I would.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And if you spend $75, you're free shipping anyway. And then,
VIP coupon is 25% off. So
yeah,
free shipping in the States, I'm guessing, right? Sorry, just to stress that because there's people around the world right now, and unfortunately, I know it's so different. That's okay.
Yeah.
Somebody said they love the glue press, but they don't have one. It's on their wish list.
We do have it on our website.
Perfect for anyone with dexterity issues. I know Tracy carries it too, I believe. Am I right, Tracy?
Yes. Yeah. I do have
and
it.
When it first came out, I thought, I didn't think, I'm like, I don't need that. And then when I started using it, I was like, oh, that's kind of nice.
So someone asked, where do you get the glue press? So if you're in the US, go to Dare to Be Artsy. If you're in Canada, go talk to Tracy. Don't know about other places in the world, but there you go. I'm sure you can get it other places as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's very well known out there.
Yeah.
And so you can get it at many different places. If you've bought any other past, get an echo again. If you bought any other past VIP bundles, look at Cindy's stuff because she has some really cool fun with fold ones in the past ones, and clusters. You did clusters last time, and then you did some really cool fun with folds as well. So if you have bought, if you're VIP from past summits, you can access some of Cindy's stuff as well. There.
And then on Monday night, every Monday night I go live in our, we used to be just going live in Facebook and then sliding them over to YouTube, but with Facebook's changes and stuff, we're going live on YouTube. And when it works perfectly, it will also pop up in Facebook, but you can always find them on YouTube. So every Monday night, 7:30 Central, usually just a half hour, just kind of sweet and short. And a lot of times it's fun folds. Sometimes it's coloring tips. I'm using now Olo markers quite a bit. This was colored with Olo markers. They're alcohol markers. We carry Olo too. I have some gals on my design team that are phenomenal with coloring. When I teach coloring, I'm teaching kind of more to the beginner or, like, or intermediate, if you are an expert colorist, I may be able to give you a few tips, but you're probably better than me. But but when I teach, because I hear people like, oh, I don't like to color, or I can't color, I can't get shading. Just watch some of my videos again. They're very basic, some very good tips for easy coloring things. You don't have, so because I like
also,
get people to dare to be artsy and dare to color.
And also watch, I think it's today. Tracy, help me on this one. Alice's video. So Alice does a video in our thing for coloring, and that's all she teaches is coloring. That's
Wonderful.
her expertise. And she's does it is today. So Alice's does a colorful kitten, and I know because like I said, I watch all these videos when I edit. She really focused on shadow on this one, like making the cat pop by doing shadow. So it's a white cat. And then she focused on the shadowing around it. And then she used, what's the right word for it? Effort, like bright poppy colors. I can't think of what the right word for it is.
Fun.
So it's a very, so she did that. So if you're in the VIP or not in the VIP, you can watch any. If you're not a VIP and you want to learn coloring, I recommend her stuff. That's what her passion is, to treat. So Cindy, watch that one.
I tell you, I watch as many as I can because I get inspired by,
well, it is here, I'll show you really quickly. It is actually surprising how much she made. I mean, I color, that's what I come from, is coloring, is color pencil coloring in the background. How much she made this pop. So am I sharing? Is it thinking about it? There we go.
Wow, isn't that great? That's amazing.
Yeah, so that's her cat there, and that's the flat on the side. Like the one here is just the flat, no line one. And she made that pop. So that's what you can learn from doing that color one.
Nice.
And I don't think she's doing a live. No, she's not. It's hard to keep up with who's doing what. Hers was very popular last time as well. She did one last time on the coloring and doing that. So yeah, what I learned from doing coloring, and it would apply to anything, is it's never as dark as you think it is. Like you tend to want the color to go darker than you think. We always tend to be light. And if you want shadows and stuff, it should be darker. So that would be my coloring thing. Yes, Leslie, support our instructors. So if you're going to buy, go for Cindy in the States, go for Tracy here, or one of the other instructors who has a store in the States. Val said Tracy it is. So Val must be a Canadian. Tracy, there you go. Cindy always had fun folds with our club workshop. By the way, I'm finishing. And right now that I made with watercolors from the March Club.
Oh, good.
She's finishing that.
We, with the clubhouse, the Artzy Club, we always, at the end of every month, we do a class based on the set. The club, you get the stamp early and you get it at a discount. But there's also like a virtual class within it. And this is just an example, again, some clusters here, but I just want to show you kind of the things that we do in the class and what I teach there. This is just again, I love fun folds. So this is with one of the last club sets that we just did. And then I showed you, that little lemon and stuff, but a very simple little easel card. And this is another fun. Oh, wait, that's supposed to poke out. There we go. There. So it's with the new collection, but it's also part of the clubhouse and stuff. But I do love fun folds. So I'm always trying to teach new things with that.
And we appreciate that. Any question for Cindy in the comments? Sorry, I'm losing my voice. Any other questions? Definitely go check out Dare to Be Artsy shop. You go, or go shop at Dare to Be Artsy. I'm not sure which way I wanted to say that, but either way, go check out her shop for everything. She's very cool and unique style.
Yes, come see me in Kansas City. So
the fun folds, you like say some of the more recent ones that you just showed there, those are some dies that you do as well for them?
So those ones that I just showed you, you don't need a die for. This would be an example of one we do have. It's called an impossible fold. Because it's kind of neat because you're like, wait a second, how is that piece sticking up? So it is a special die. And this is, again, just using that same collection but making a fun fold. So we do have some dies that will do some of the fun folds. Again, this is kind of from that. This is from that new collection. That's so fun. Yeah. And I love mixed media too. This is kind of my card that has kind of a mixed media feel to it. And look at all those fun layers. Uses some of our stencils in the background, and also just a different fold, just to make it slightly different. Like even the teeniest little touch of a different cut to it makes it a little more unique when someone's opening it. So.
And if you claim Cindy's free gift, it is printable instruction guide for multiple fun fold cards. So that's in the free gift. It's on her page, or it's in the goodie bag on the Meet the Speaker page. You can claim that. So yeah, fun folds would lots of. She's created some really cool ones for us.
A non-card maker here. I was looking at that when you had sent it. I went, I might try some of these with my clients. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, and this card, this die is so cool because the paper itself is literally only a look, you can see my end of the paper here. It's just a half, it's just a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 size piece of paper, but it's the way it cuts and scores it. You twist it to make it pop up, and then you put a bar across to make it stay. So it doesn't even take that much paper to make this fun little card. And then it folds, it's an A2, it folds flat. So when they open it, pull it out of an envelope, and then it pops up. So it's kind of
fun. Person who's just tuning in, because I'm not sure who your name is Dare to be Artsy. So Dare to be Artsy is Cindy's own company, and she designs all of the beautiful stamps that you're seeing herself. Do you design them all, right? You don't have someone else designing with you? Or?
Yeah, about 90% of them. I'll occasionally, like I have a collection called Totally Tracy. Tracy Weinzeffel is a mixed media artist. So my Totally Tracy line, she's an amazing mixed media artist. So years ago we met, and she wanted to be able to stamp in her journals and be able to do that. So she illustrated the flowers, and then I put them in out of the words and put them into stamp sets. So our Totally Tracy line is very fun. We even have some dies. These are all my stamps, but this is a Totally Tracy one. So yeah. So, and then occasionally I'll find another artist that I'll do some stuff with. Yeah. And some of my very first papers that I started designing, I met a friend of mine was a fabric designer. So the very first paper combo thing, she designed the paper, and then they pulled the images out to create the stamps to go with it, that kind of thing. So we did that for the first couple lines until I figured out how to do. It was a learning curve, but for me to then figure out how to make the paper myself, and stuff. So I will use occasional other designers, but yeah.
So you specialize in, as you can see from her bear, very unique. So you have a style that is very unique and fun and playful. And also you have the fact that your stamps and your dies cut out of the paper and they match. So in your collections, the paper matches, and you can cut see, I'm getting good at this, Tracy. You can cut the die out of the paper. You can use the die to cut the thing out of the paper. There you go. And the stamp matches that. I might not be able to say it, but I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And some people will be just like, I'm just going to buy the die and the paper, which is fine. But our paper, we keep our paper. I mean, I have to do huge runs. I print my paper. I print it locally so I can be on the press check and check the colors and everything. But it's 3,000 sheets. I mean, it's not a small run of paper. So I will have the paper for a couple of years. Sometimes I'll do another run of it, which I have, like our Groovy line. And, there are some lines that I'm like, I do a whole nother run. But so I kind of got off track. So if you're going to buy just the die and the paper, we will eventually run out of paper. So you might still want the stamp set, because the die is going to cut all the images out of the stamp set. It'll cut quite a few out of the paper, but maybe not all. So it's kind of designed to go with the stamp. The paper is a bonus. So just kind of keep that in mind, because I don't want you to then have a die that doesn't do anything,
Makes sense.
So yeah.
Excellent. Well,
and now you scrapbookers can use, I showed you how to do the clusters. So you can stamp just a little bit color just a little bit because you've got a teacher that's going to teach you how here. You said that's later today, right?
It's today. Well, hers is live now, so you can watch it now.
Oh,
It's
live now.
live now.
Okay, there you go.
She's
No
in
excuse.
Australia, and she loves teaching coloring. Her whole site is about teaching coloring. So.
That's perfect. See, you guys don't have any excuse now. Just simple stamp, basic coloring, and you are set.
It's always funny what intimidates people more, right? Like, somebody might, I know myself, not as much anymore, but I was never intimidated by doing fine work, but painting a blank wall is much more intimidating than doing fine artist drawing work, right? We all have different kind of things that intimidate us. And others are like, well, that's so easy. Like, it's so easy for Tracy to get her Cricut off the shelf, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tracy. Had to say it again today. It's an ongoing teasing of Tracy.
You're not sorry. So just keep going. You're not sorry.
It's all good. But do you ever use a cutting machine, Cindy, or you don't use them at all? The Cricut and the Joy.
It's so funny. I keep the Silhouette and the Cricut. I keep thinking I need to do that. And for me, I heard if I'm designing, I kind of heard, and I'm not sure you guys know more than I do, that the Silhouette, if I'm going to design my cuts more, then the Silhouette gives me more opportunity to design for that.
That is correct. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
but I haven't done it, and I keep saying I should do that, and I just haven't.
Even I know that. You'd also have to look at your licensing. I believe the Silhouette is better at licensing commercially.
Gotcha.
Right. So allowing you, if you design your own and export them, I think Cricut has some sort of weird licensing associated with it. I may not be right, but so I think that the Silhouette is better for a commercial based.
Gotcha.
Am I right, Tracy? I don't know. Tracy's going.
Yeah.
A good person.
I was almost forgetting. Like, all of a sudden, where's my microphone?
It is better.
Sorry, dear. But you're going to ask me a tech question right now?
No, actually, the person to ask that question to, Cindy, would be Ellie Mae. So Ellie Mae is one of our speakers. She is a Silhouette and cutting machine, but she also uses it for so many things. And she's worked for Silhouette and she's done that. So Ellie Mae would be a really great resource for you if you want to know what you want to buy as a commercial person designing with it. She would be really good.
Okay. I'm writing that down.
Yeah, because that's it. And just speak to the people who have, the Cricut for business and stuff like that, and see what would be the benefits of this one and that one.
Yeah, Shelly just posted what I believe is the truth. You can't export a new design with a Cricut. So you can't, so it wouldn't want a Cricut. There is actually third-party software. Like there's actually software you can use, like Affinity, I think it is. Can't remember the name of it. But Ellie Mae is a great person too. She would be a really good resource for the Silhouette in particular. That is her passion, and she teaches the Silhouette. So
neat.
Thanks for the fun full card PDF. You are welcome. And we are going to
might also be good. Sorry, I'm thinking of Jazz Sid there. She may also be good.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure she's more Cricut, but she's also one who does stuff for and businesses too. So
yeah, I think she's more Cricut.
Yeah.
Yeah, so either one of those would be, but if it's a Silhouette, you are correct kind of regarding the Cricut versus Silhouette for designing. So yeah, Julie's in our Scrapbooking Fun Circle, and she knows a lot about them. She has all the machines. So yeah, I think Silhouette would be the one if you wanted to take and design would be Silhouette. But talk to Ellie Mae. She's a good resource to be, especially Silhouette. She's the perfect one to talk to and do that.
Yeah.
So excellent. Well, thank you so much. We have to go on to our next call in 2 minutes.
Thank you guys.
So thank you, everybody. We are back with our last call, which is another new speaker. So I'm trying to blank today. There we go. Marianne Patrick. And she's another one that the picture does not justify her project. It's hard to get three-dimensional and all in a flat picture, right? I'm sure you find that when you take pictures of your projects, it's hard to get them and show what they really are. So thank you so much, Cindy, for being with us from day one of all of our summits. We love you and we love having you back. And thank you, everybody. We will be back. We have one more live today. And then for the VIPs, so if you want to shop at Cindy's store, by the way, buy the VIP because you'll get a 20% off discount, which will pay for your VIP pass. If you are a VIP, come and join us for the crop tonight. So we are doing our scrapbooking crop at 7 p.m. tonight. It is a surprise project. You would have gotten the list of what you need to have ready to come and play with us. And we need to get that out to our speakers, Tracy. But we did send it to the speakers. We did. You'll have a list of what you want to come and play with us. And we hope you can come. If you want to join and you're not a VIP, grab the VIP pass and come and play with us at 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. Tracy's going to be, I don't even know what you're making. I don't know. So it's a surprise. You have the list of what you're going to do. And we did that last time. There you go. We did it last time in November, and instead of everybody working on something different, you're all going to kind of co-create, although it will turn out different because you have different things in your stash. And so come and join us.
Scraps.
Yeah, we're using your scraps in your stash. There you go.
Right.
So thank you, everybody, and we will be back in about less than 15 minutes.
Yes.
Bye.
Yes. Bye.